Between school, your friends, and social media, answers are everywhere. But where can you find the truth? Welcome to the StudentCast. We're asking for a friend so you don't have to.
What's up, party people? We are back with the StudentCast, asking questions for a friend so you don't have to. My name is Bryn, and I'm here with my friend.
Kayo. So glad to be back, guys. I am stoked. It is sunny. We are back in we're getting ready for the summer. It is glow up time.
Yes, hot girl summer.
Is there a hot boy summer? Is that a thing? All right.
Sure. Okay. We're branding it now.
Great. Great. I mean, I've seen it all over social media at this point. So I don't know about it. Also, I have a question, Bryn. Is Be Real dead?
Okay. I think it's in the process of dying.
Because it's I rarely see people posting. Also, I'm losing the desire to post.
I know. I've kind of lost the desire to post too. And if I do at this point, it's hours late, which is so beside the point of Be Real. Fake. I am Be Fake so often on that app, but I really only post so that I can see what other people posted, but then no one else is being real.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of it's besides the point, you know?
Yeah, at that point, just post a story or something. Yeah, I don't know. Isn't that, I don't know what that is.
Or the decision when Be Real goes off, again, totally not what the point of the app is, but I'm should I post right now? Or should I wait until I'm doing something cooler?
Yeah, 5 minutes. Am I like that fashionably late kind of guy? Yeah.
Yes. I don't want to look too eager.
Here I am.
I was doing nothing right now.
And then you scroll and see everyone else doing other things. And that's what's really tough about the whole app too, because it's there's some people who do it right at the beginning and it's pictures of their shoe. And then next thing you know, it's a big group of people. And then I'm wait, how come I wasn't there?
Oh.
I don't know if that's something you experience, but I get experience that. Or when they're all at ampersand, I'm where was my invite? Everyone knows I like ampersand ice cream.
We should do a tally count at some point on one of the episodes that are how many stories have involved ampersand on the StudentCast?
Every single one.
So funny.
Or Cup of Joy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Either or.
Yeah.
Either or.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, KO. I feel that decision of okay, do I post my B-roll right now? Do I do it later? It's something that is going on a lot right now for everyone.
Yeah, we had some friends ask us, hey, just as followers of Christ and recognizing social media can be good and bad. When do we post and when we not post? What should our content be?
Oh.
It was a multi-layered question because there's a lot of things in that. But I think our friends are just asking hey, what should we I guess essentially what should our filters be? As far as when we post and when we don't post.
Yeah.
Especially with the lens of we're followers of Christ or we're saying that we're Christians. So I don't know, Bryn, have you seen that as far as maybe for your own self or even some of the friends that you know or even the students that we walk with?
Yeah. I think what's cool about social media is it can be such a good thing. Social media in itself is not a bad thing. It can just be, it can become a bad thing the way we use it or how much we use it or how much we idolize our image on there, things like that. But I don't think social media is inherently bad.
Yeah, I agree with you. I really don't think social media is bad at all. I do want to echo. We're not saying delete all your apps, delete all your social media apps.
No. As
Christians, we should abstain from all of it. I don't think that is what we're trying to get to the point here, right?
No, but I think that there should be something to say of if your social media not that it has to be every single post is I love Jesus.
Proverbs 23.
Yeah.
He is my shepherd.
Yeah, that's not what I'm trying to get at this point here. But I think that with that, your social media should look different and the way you use it, the way you post on it than someone who has not given their life to the Lord.
Well, yeah, because I don't know if maybe our viewers may see it that way, but we often view social media as an extension of the individual. Hence why colleges, especially if you're being invited to be a part of a team, when you're applying for a job, even if you're volunteering somewhere, a lot of things, they'll get your application, but the first thing they'll look at is your social media.
Yeah.
You know?
I remember when I was in high school, there was this thing called inter school council that we applied for leadership. And one of the questions on it was what's your any social media handle that you have, including a Finsta? So I don't know if people still use the fake Instas or private snaps or things like that. But all of us were oh, you guys can see those too. But yeah, people, they want to look at what your social media presence is because again, you're saying, that is a reflection of who you are.
Yeah. And then if you're being attached to those places, they want to make sure that what you're putting out is still a reflection upon them. I think we forget that our lives often reflect more than just who we are. It reflects maybe our families. We specifically talk about like disciples of Christ. We are a reflection and ambassadors of Jesus. So when people see us and say, oh, like we see in our bio, like, you know, I don't know, follower of God or disciple or, you know, the cross with a dove or whatever. It's like, okay, but then your Instagram looks just like my friend who doesn't believe in Jesus at all. You know what I mean?
No, it's confusing and hard to like reconcile. I think the thing that's hard here is, so we just said, this doesn't mean that your Instagram has to be like every single post is a Bible verse or like something super spiritual, but where's the line of like to post or not to post? So like if it doesn't have to be like super directly Christian, every single post that you make or like biblical, but like, what does that mean? What do you not post?
Yeah, I don't know. I would think even for myself, when I post, I'm like, okay, what's just what is the underlying reason why I'm posting in the first place? Am I posting because I want someone to be jealous, or am I posting because I feel alone and needy, or I'm wanting like attention? Or am I posting because it's like, wow, like 5 years from now, I want to remember this moment.
Yeah.
Or like this was actually I'm really proud of myself. And some of my accountability I've established is like, look, like I did this hard thing. And I'm doing this to encourage all of you who maybe be thinking or in the same place as I am, not necessarily to be like, look at me. I don't know if that makes any sense, right?
Yeah, it totally does. That reminds me of Galatians 1:10 says, for am I now seeking the approval of man or of God? Or am I trying to please man? If I were still trying to please man, I would not be a servant of Christ. And so I think that's like a good filter too with like what we're posting on Instagram. Not that like, it's natural to be like, I want to look good on this app. Like, I don't want to like post this like really random picture.
I'm not going to post a photo with me with my 5 chins, right? Yeah, I understand. Yes.
But like, are we posting it to make it something that's going to like affirm our value, or like be a thing that's like, okay, if I get this many likes, or if this person like comments on it or reaches out to me, or like I impress these people with this picture, you're using social media to please man and to like affirm value where you're not supposed to be getting it from.
Yeah, it's real. I remember there was like I don't really think he's like super spiritual or anything, but he was just Noah Khan. He's like pretty popular right now with his like songs, but he did it.
I love him.
He wrote a song about essentially this whole thing where he said, look, like, and he did behind the scenes. He said, it is so bizarre to me that I'm willing to like bend over backwards to buy new outfits, to reinvent myself for someone who I'll never meet, only to get the like. And he was like, but then yet, like at the same time, for the people who are in my current circle, I'm not willing to be intentional with them.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow. You know, like that's a great marker for us as far as like our thing on social media. I think the harder thing though is like comparison. Like even if I don't do that, my whole world essentially, my For You page, all my feed, it is like continually resounding the bell of, well, I should have a really big life, or I should have the girl, or I should look this way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and with some of the things that I've been guilty of this, like I think even taking the filter of trying to avoid putting something out there in a way where it's just for someone else to compare themselves to you too, where it's like, I don't know, I'm thinking of like summer, like all the beach pictures, and it's like, don't come at us, but like the bikini pictures and like all the things and whatever, like that might be something that's trying to affirm value for yourself in that moment. But are you also putting yourself in a situation where it's like, you might not feel like you're the person to compare to, but are you just putting this out there for other people to be like, oh, well, I don't look like that, or I don't have this friend group, or I don't have this XYZ. And again, that kind of goes back to like the highlight reel. We talked about that on What is FOMO
We did.
episode.
Yeah, definitely go back there. Yeah. I think episode like 5 or 6.
Something like that.
Yeah. But you know, I actually agree. I think even there's moments when it's like, okay, like, is it our prerogative if it's like, look, like I'm not necessarily trying to like stumble someone else, but at the same time, why do I have to censor me? You know what I mean? Like that whole tension of like, okay, like I look great. It's not my fault that that's gonna make someone feel insecure. I'm posting it about myself. You know, like that whole tension.
It's so touchy. Yeah.
It's just like a weird line. And we're not saying it's black and white. We're just saying, hey, look, even if that's the case, what is your motives behind it?
Yeah.
And is that something that needs to go to the world? Or is that just going to go into a group chat with your friends?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really know. That's not really for me to decide.
It's not. And I think the funny thing with social media, I've said this to people before, like if you have a question mark on it, like, is this bad to post? Or like, I feel like I'm like on the line here. Like I feel a little uncertain about if this is appropriate or like if this is like a representation of Christ or whatever. I lean towards if there's a question mark, just like you don't need to post it.
Yeah.
But if you're like, I really want to, I just don't know, send it to a few of your close friends or like your life group leader or whoever and be like, hey, like, do you think this picture is okay to post? I've done that. Like I've sent that to, you guys know Mallory, like I've sent pictures to Mallory and been like, what do we think? And sometimes she's like, go for it. And sometimes she's like, why?
Yeah,
like,
for
okay,
sure.
sounds good.
Yeah, I have photos of for clients when I take photos for clients, or even when I take photos of my own wife, and I'm always like, hey, like, is this a photo that works? Does this make sense? Why am I posting it? And then there have been times when even my mentor is like, yeah, I mean, didn't you need to post that one? I'm like, oh, no, my bad. I'll take that one off, you know?
Okay, so, you mentioned your wife. I feel like when we talk about social media, we have to shout out Kao's wife, Cassie, because your wife uses social media as like the most, like a super evident way of living a life for the gospel through travel. Yeah,
she does it through travel because there's a misconception that travel is either about self, or if it's about Christian travel, it's only like mission trips or exposure trips. And she's trying to break the I guess just like the notion that actually every time you go, it's about the Lord.
Yeah.
And she wrote a devotional. It's a whole thing. But her whole aspect of when she posts, she's like, am I pointing people to Christ?
Yeah.
That's like the main thing that she does.
Which that's like a great filter, I think. Like, is this post pointing someone towards Christ or is it pointing them away to Christ?
Yeah, because in her mind, social media is a platform for the Lord, not necessarily a platform for herself. Like her own like personal brand, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's awesome.
But yeah, and that kind of reminds me too of like the scripture that we have that I really like, Philippians 1:27, which let me pull it up because my phone went to sleep. But it just says like, let your manner of life be worthy of the gospel of Christ. So whether that I, being Paul, come and see you or am absent, I may hear of you that you are standing firm in one spirit. And the whole point is that whether or not someone sees you on social media or in person, like your life you're living it as worthy of the manner of the gospel. So there is no question of whether or not you believe in Jesus. So I think that we think our lives and our social media lives or our internet lives are two different things, and we're arguing that it's the same. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how you feel about it, but
it's so good. It's so good. Well, I think again we kind of wrap every episode up with this, but if you were hoping that you came and got a list of here's things to post and here's things not to post, I don't think that's where we landed.
No.
But I think just that challenge to be like, hey, like, does my social media reflect a life of someone who is devoted to Christ? And is this pointing people towards Christ or away from him is a good place to start. And like invite people into that. Have a mentor like scroll through your Instagram. If you feel awkward, if your life group leader or your mentor was like scrolling through your social media with you, I mean, that's kind of awkward anyway. But like if you felt really uncomfortable, like
that's a red flag.
I feel awkward that we're looking at this together, then that's probably a red flag that maybe those things shouldn't be on there. And that I'm going to stand on my soapbox with the Snapchat private stories. That includes a Snapchat private story. Because if you don't want someone looking at it that you respect, then why is it on there?
Why is it on there at all?
Yeah.
That's real. That's real. We don't want to live double lives. And the gospel calls us to walk in the light in all things. And so, yeah, we just encourage you, if anything, let this be a pause for you for when you post things or not. And if not, I love what you said, Bryn. Invite your community in. Like, hey, like I want to post this or not. Or maybe we're seeking affirmation in the wrong places. We don't need it from those people. So, and our worth is not in the likes. No. I just want us to understand that we are worthy of all things because of what Christ has done for us. So
retweet. That'll preach.
Anyways.
That's good. Well, this was a fun one.
This was fun.
You know what you should do? What you should post? Here's the thing to put under the to post. This podcast.
Because this points people to Jesus. Anyways, go ahead, like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell us how much you love us. We're not looking for your affirmations or anything. But
this is good.
If not, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Well StudentCast. As always, don't forget to subscribe and tell your friends about us. For more information about the Well Student Ministries, visit thewellcommunity.org/students.